Hey, Utah Mammoth fans, Tusks up, and welcome into another Utah Mammoth Daily. So, no matter what happened last night against the Montreal Canadiens, I want to just continue this feel-good stuff for the Mammoth, and so that's what I'm going to be talking about here today. So, they're going to be they've gone from a feel-good story to the real deal. So, at the start of this season, people were calling the Utah Mammoth a nice story. Second year, they have their identity now, logo, mascot, goal, horn. Still don't really have a goal song yet, but we're working on it. And so it's a fun new market, great fans, cool jerseys, and hey, maybe they'll win a few games along the way. That was kind of the narrative coming in. Maybe they'll challenge for a wild card berth. But now the conversation's different. And people are saying it perfectly. If you're not paying attention to Utah yet, it's time to start. This isn't some fluke start. Through 14 games, the Mammoth have one of the best records in the Western Conference, tied for third. Right there. And they're doing it against real competition. Teams like the Avalanche, the Wild, the Jets, not against the bottom of the league. Although they have won against them as well. The Blues, the Flames, the Sharks. They've won games against them too. They've already shown they can grind through back-to-backs and keep it close, not get blown out necessarily. Bounce back from tough losses. They're learning how to do that in this current stretch of games and beat top-tier teams. And that's what separates pretenders from contenders, really. This group doesn't need gimmicks or luck. They just play sound, fast, connected hockey for the most part. I detailed yesterday the second line, how they're still growing. They'll get there. The rest of the league, they're starting to realize that. As you saw, the Maple Leafs didn't really play their game. They played a modified version of their game to slow down the Mammoth. And that's respect from a different team, not just going out there skating, saying, we don't care what you do, we're going to do what we do. They altered their game plan. It worked against the Mammoth, but they had to alter it, and that was really cool to see. Now, as we move along, the core is locked and loaded. Everybody except for Nick Schmaltz has a contract that needs one, and one of the biggest reasons this hot start feels sustainable. The Mammoth aren't a patchwork roster. It's not a bunch of one-year deals, not a bunch of prove-it deals, not a bunch of veterans trying to come in, trying to have a contract year and then get that contract. They're built for this. Clayton Keller is playing like a true captain. He had one off night, and then now he's back to being himself. And he's an all-star. If the all-star was still a thing, he would be on the Four Nations face-off if that was happening this year, and he's going to be on the U.S. Olympic roster. Logan Cooley and Dylan Guenther are stepping up as the next wave of Utah's offensive stars. Logan Cooley and Dylan Guenther both are in the conversation as long shots. Don't get me wrong, super long shots, but long shots nonetheless of making their nation's roster. And J.J. Peterka is fitting in basically seamlessly from the trade with Buffalo. And he will probably be representing Germany at the Olympics. So that's pretty cool too. And behind them, guys like Barrett Hayton, Nick Schmaltz, and Mikhail Sergachev, although I would put Sergachev up there with that first group personally. They give this lineup legitimate balance across all three zones. So a lot of places are pointing out that this team is built for both the present and the future, and they're right. GM Bill Armstrong has this roster mostly locked up long term. From Clayton Keller to Logan Cooley to Veggie to Sergachev, there's no window. It's almost like an open double door. And Utah is not just winning, they're learning how to win together, and they're also learning that we're for real. We know what we are, and we're good. And that's really cool to see, is that they're secure in themselves. They don't have to feel like they need to have a hat trick performance from Logan Cooley or Dylan Guenther or Nick Schmaltz or something just to have a chance. They know they can skate with anybody, and that's really fun to watch. And it's not just like those big things. It's the little things. They add up. The depth roles are coming through for the Mammoth. What makes this team so special is that it's not just about the highlight reel goals or flashy stats. It's the small details that show you they're maturing. They're one of the few teams in the league with a winning record in one-goal games. They've come from behind multiple times already this season. And in a flipping of the script from last season, they're 3-0 in overtime. That's a sign of confidence, not chaos. The defensive structure has tightened up, especially since the first few games. Sergachev and Nate Schmidt, John Marino, Olli Mata, Ian Cole, Dmitry Simashev. They're all giving this team reliable minutes when it matters most. And in even the depth guys, the third and fourth liners, Michael Carcone, love that guy. Yeah, one of the smallest guys on the ice, but he's one of the toughest, and he will mix it up. Lawson Krause, the sheriff, he's starting to score goals again like I wanted him to. Super fun to see him. And what's great about watching Lawson Krause personally is when he gets the puck on his stick, it's not floating around. He usually has great control of the puck. And that's really awesome. And then Turbo Tanev, him flying around the ice, flinging his body at other guys. That's what you need in the energy guy. And he knows his role as a veteran. And they are only starting to find their rhythm. Kyler Yamamoto as well, proving that maybe Liam O'Brien is surplus to, needs. I hope not. I love spicy tuna. But Kyler Yamamoto is really showing up and showing out. This is what growth looks like in real time. The Mammoth aren't just surviving tough games anymore. They're controlling most of them. And no team feels comfortable when they have a lead against the Mammoth. Again, another thing that's changed from last year. So why should we all be excited about this team right now? Because this is exactly how great franchises start. With belief, consistency, and leadership that sets a tone. The Mammoth have gone from feel-good new team to legitimate Western Conference. I don't want to say contender. They're not going to win the conference. They're not going to win the President's Cup. But they are in the conversation in barely over a season. They're top 10 in the league in scoring chances, top 10 in the league in shot suppression, and have a pretty darn good goaltending combo in Karel Vejmelka, Veggie, and Vitek Vanacek, who keep them in almost every game. And maybe the best part, this group loves playing in Utah. The energy at the Delta Center, although kind of muted in that game against the Lightning, I'm not forgetting about that. It was pretty pedestrian. Wasn't pleased about that. But usually the energy at the Delta Center, the noise, the passion, it's all feeding back into the product on the ice. Like a lot of places are writing and coming to realize this isn't a fad. This is the start of something that's going to last. Utah isn't sneaking up on anyone anymore. They're here, they're good, and the NHL better get used to it. And sports fans in the state of Utah, at least professional sports fans in the state of Utah, have been yearning for something like this for a very long time. And they finally have it. And yes, that's a pot shot to the Jazz. So, this has been your Utah Mammoth Daily for today. Tusks up, hit that subscribe button. And no matter what happens on this back-to-back this weekend, I'm still going to root for this team. I hope you will too. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.